we have a bunch of different tires in the shop today. So I was kind of thinking maybe I'll show you guys kind of some of the differences as far as actual sizes, like the actual width of the tread pattern, the actual width of the overall tire carcass itself, and the actual heights. Because most of you guys probably already know this, but a lot of these tires, for example, the 39 BFG, like that's not 39 inches. So the actual size varies quite a bit from what it says on the sidewall. So I'm going to show you guys what these are true. So first of all, disclaimer, the BFGs are about 60%. The Nitto is about 60%. And the Cooper's about 80. The Falken is 100%. And this MTR is about 85, 90%, somewhere in there. So that's gonna play a little bit of a role as far as height, but you can see there's definitely some differences here. Okay, so first tire up, 39, 1350. This is on a 8.5 or 9-inch wheel, I'm not sure. And again, this thing's about 60%. So we get the level up here. We're gonna tip it till it's level. And then we're gonna look at the height here. Looks like about 37 3/4. And that is inflated to 30 PSI. So obviously not on a rig. So it's gonna shrink about a 1/2 inch there. And the BFGs are kind of known for running a little bit low as far as height goes. But they do really, really good in the rocks. They're a soft compound. They don't do the best in the snow, but they do pretty good. And they drive great on the road. So that's where we're sitting with those. Okay, so the width, we're gonna go from about there over. You know, it's kind of hard to pick an actual edge on these because they're, you know, kind of rounded. But I'm gonna say they're about 10.5 on the tread. Okay, so for checking the overall tire width, I got this little caliper deal. These are, come on, focus. There we go. Just a hair over 13, about 13.25, 13.125 maybe. So that's where those are at. Okay, next up, we got the Goodyear Wrangler MTR. These are my personal favorite. 38, 14, 50, 17. These are a 9-inch wide wheel, beadlock obviously, and they're also at about 28 PSI, so close enough to 30. So we're gonna check the height. Okay, so that's about where we're at. Let's see here. Just about 37.5. Okay, so width, about right there. We're right about 12 inches for width on the tread. And by the way, these are a load range D. The BFGs were a load range C. So they will not squish out quite as good as the BFGs. They squish out really, really easy at a higher PSI. They'll squish out for in the snow and rocks and whatnot. These are gonna take a little lower PSI to squish out because they're a load range D. But D is still a pretty good load range for an off-road tire. It's low enough to where it's gonna be pretty pliable. Once you start getting into E, that's when it's a really stiff sidewall. Okay, my caliper thing only goes to 13, so it would not fit over the carcass of these tires. One thing I did forget to mention, that these drive great on the road as well. pretty much all the tires that we have today are going to be great on-road tires. They're not, you know, a bias ply or a IROC or a bogger or anything like that. So these are all going to drive good. So this is kind of how we had to do it on this one. Oh, come on there. So about 14 and an eighth for the width. Okay, so we got the Falken Wildpeak MT01s. These are a 38 by 1350, and they are, what's the load range on the, okay, load range D. I don't have any personal experience running these yet. I assume they'll do pretty good pretty much everywhere. Probably not great anywhere, but good everywhere. Similar to the Nittos. If you guys know about the Nittos, and everybody kind of knows the Nittos. But they look like a cool tire, and they're a good size. I like that size just under 40 for a lot of things, and bigger than a 37. Okay, so put in there. This is kind of tough to do by yourself, by the way. Oh, that's a pretty good height for a 38. 37 and 5/8, almost 3/4. Okay, so tread width, we are looking at, come on. So that's the wider tread that's behind there. Come on. Right about 10.5. Overall tire width, this one seems a little on the skinny side at just a hair under 13, but pretty much 13. Okay, we got the Nittos here. These are also a load range D. Remember, this set happens to be about 60%, so don't expect your height to be what this is. So we got right at 36 inches. Okay, checking the tread width here on the Nittos. There's the wide part of the tread. So that lug, it actually isn't the widest one. This one comes out a little further by about a 1/2 inch, so that's kind of surprising. These are 11 inches on the tread width. That's really wide for a 1250 tire. For the carcass width on the Nitto, I'm surprised again. Remember, these are a 1250 tire, but we're touching here and there, and it's actually a little bit wider, and we're right at 13 inches. And we got the Cooper, the STT Pro. These are really good tires all around, and I kind of put them in the same category as probably the Nittos and probably the Wildpeaks. Not really, they don't really shine particularly anywhere, but they do pretty good everywhere. A good Leatherman of the tire, if you will. So the one thing about these is they're a load range E. So if you get these tires, expect to have to air down more to get the same squish as the rest of these. They're not, like, I had them out and I had them down to, I think, 3 pounds, and they look like my MTRs did at about 5 or 6. So expect that out of them. I like the width. They're a 37 1350. So let's see how they stack up. Okay. So looks like we have about 36 and an eighth, maybe 36 and a quarter. Tread width on the Coopers, we're looking at right about 11 3/4. This is really hard to do. Yeah, right about 11 3/4. And overall width on the Coopers looks like about 13.5, which is exactly what they're advertised at. So yeah, hopefully you guys like the tire shootout. Obviously, the one tire that was not on a wheel is the Nitto. I don't know how much that affected it as far as the overall width and the height. Probably not much. I don't think very much anyway. Again, my favorite tire, at least for the snow, is the Goodyear, because when you air them all the way out, that tread pattern gets huge, like a freaking track. You don't have the height of a 40, but you have a little lower center of gravity and can get a little tippier without laying it on its side. The BFGs are definitely my favorite in rocks. And here's another thing is, you know, again, keep in mind these are about 60% and these are probably 85, but look how close they are. Like they are dang near right on the money. So I'm gonna put those at the same height. And then there's the Wild Peaks compared to the MTRs. MTRs take it by just a little tiny bit. And then there's the very slight difference in these two, which are close to the same tread, as far as percentage-wise. The Cooper's got a little more on it, but I would say those are probably about the same height when they're new. Here's a couple clips I got of each one of the tires in action. Well, all but the Nittos. So these are the Coopers. They're doing pretty good. They don't do great in the snow, but they do okay. They're not great.
2 pounds, 2.5.
And here's the BFGs. This was aired way down, and this was a unique type of snow, but they were going excellent this day. Usually they're a little above average, I would say. And here's the Falkens. This day they were outperforming everybody. I don't know what the deal was, but they were doing excellent this day. Maybe they're just that good at tires. And then here we get the MTRs, tried and true. You know, these are one of my favorite tires, but they're discontinued, so you got to go with something else. Sorry, boys. But they do excellent.
That's a deep hole.
You know, any of the videos will show that pretty much. Hopefully you guys got some value out of this video, and maybe you even use some of the information in here to pick your next set of tires. Who knows? But here's a clip with all the information. You can go ahead and pause it and take a look, read whatever you need to. I guess I should also throw in here that, you know, these are just my personal opinions in the 37 to 39 range. Obviously, the bigger tire, the better for in the snow. And I should say there's some tires that do quite a bit better than these ones. Like, for example, the IROX. We all know the IROX do killer in the snow, but you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes they're out of round. Sometimes they don't drive down the highway hardly at all. These are all drivable tires. So I wanted to compare drivable tires in a size that you would see in a rig that you don't have to trailer to the trail. So that's what I got for you. Thanks for watching, guys.